If you could be given advice that is going to greatly increase the speed at which you learn guitar, wouldn't you follow it? The concept is how to use repetition in your practice sessions, but there's a very specific way at how you need to use repetitions, and that's what we're covering today. And if you follow these basic concepts, you will be able to spend less time practicing while making more progress on the guitar. By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure to get your copy of the Beginner Soloist Handbook that I've put together for you. The link is in the description below, and it's got all kinds of scales and arpeggios and resources to help you along your journey. I'm going to split our discussion into 3 sections or levels. You need to accomplish level 1 before moving to level 2, and you need to accomplish level 2 before moving to level 3. By being organized in this way, you will make sure that you are learning faster, and what you are learning will stick with you. Now, the 3 levels we will refer to as learning levels, and they all involve repetitions, but each level has a different focus. For level 1, when I tell students to do repetitions, I have to be very specific, because in level 1, all I want you to work on is the order of the notes or chords in the particular lick or phrase that you're working on. You're trying to figure out which fingers you're going to use on which string. You're trying to figure out how you're going to pick through it. All those sort of technique-based things. And of course, you want to make sure that you commit it to memory so that you're not having to look at a piece of paper the entire time. Let's just take this phrase here for example. So I have to work on a bend and make sure that I'm getting my bend where I need it to go, a full step. That's a technique I have to work on. And then I have a bar across 2 strings that I have to get down. Then I go down to the B string and I have to work on a pull-off like that, and then end it back on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. So the whole thing together is... But you'll also notice that I have a rhythm to work on, right? Let's put that for later. All we are concerned about is getting the basic techniques down. So the bend, the bar, and the pull-off. That's all I'm working on here, and I'm going to repeat it, and I don't care about rhythm, timing, anything like that. Just get the basic techniques down. Repeat. Now I realize you're probably going to play that much slower because you're just learning the order of the notes and a couple of little techniques in there. That's okay. That's all we want to do. But make sure to do multiple repetitions of that in the same session. In level 1, players tend to get bogged down, frustrated, and they only repeat it a couple times and walk away and hope to come back to it tomorrow. That's not going to help. Once you get the order of the notes down and the basic little bends and pull-offs and that sort of thing, then you do it 10, 15 times in a row, more if you can, but at least 10 or 15 times in a row, so that you are committing to memory the technical aspects of which finger is doing what and how you are making these movements on the fretboard. Larry Bird famously shot 100 free throws for every one that he missed in a game. He wanted that muscle memory, and musicians need to have muscle memory as well. So don't let level 1 be your nemesis. Make sure that you get the order of the notes down of whatever lick or phrase you're working on, and do it 10, 15, 20 times in a row. Even if it's sloppy, that's okay. Just make sure that you're going through the order that you need to play these notes and getting the technical aspects down. Once you've conquered level 1, we go to level 2. In level 2, we are learning the rhythmic aspects of the lick or phrase or chord progression, whatever it may be. Now, all rhythmic aspects of whatever you might be learning are going to be useless if you can't remember the order of the notes exactly, or you don't know which finger you're going to next. That's why level 1 is so important. Get that done first. Level 2, we can start working on the rhythm. Let me play this lick one more time for you. So you can hear the rhythmic side of things there. If I just play that lick straight, it's not what I want. I need to practice that swing with the pull-off and everything. And you do your repetitions here too, because you've got to ingrain that sort of rhythm into your playing. It's like if I were playing Enter Sandman. With no sense of timing. No, you've got to practice the rhythm of that. more than just finger movements. We've got to get the timing right to make the lick sound right. So level 2 is complete focus on rhythm and timing of whatever you may be working on. And this could be chord progressions too, but it simply comes down to the fact that this is where we are focusing on rhythm only, because you've already got the technical execution down in level 1, focus in level 2 on rhythm, and now, once you've accomplished that, we move to level 3. Now level 3 is where we practice on bringing whatever we've been working on up to tempo. Now the reason this focus of level 3 is incredibly important, because when you bring something up to tempo, your technique at how you execute it, depending on what you're playing, is going to change. We can have terrible, terrible technique at a super slow tempo, but when you play something faster and up to tempo, you tighten up your playing, your picking movements get a little smaller, those sort of things. So level 3 is super important as you work on bringing it faster and faster. Now when working in level 3 to try to push yourself to play it faster and faster until you get to the tempo of the song that you want to play, making mistakes is fine. That's what this level is about. And if you're getting 80–85% of the notes correct, that's fine. Those other mistakes will clean themselves up, and you're never going to get to that point if you don't push yourself. So if you're playing everything perfectly at half the goal tempo, you're wasting your time. Don't waste your practice session like that. Push yourself until you start making a couple of mistakes, and that's where you want to be, right there. Continue to push yourself in level 3 and make the mistakes, but do the repetitions again. The focus right now is simply pushing tempo, because in level 1 we learned the techniques, in level 2 we learned and focused on the rhythm, level 3 now it's all about pushing the tempo, because all those other things, the rhythm, the technique, are committed to memory. And you know, this goes beyond just learning a lick or a phrase. If you're going to learn an entire song, for example, make sure that you don't just play through the entire song and then you're like, whew, I got through that, now I can move on to another song. No, you need those repetitions with songs too. If you learn an entire song and the arrangement and you've got all the techniques down, repeat it 5 times in that practice session. That will pay off way more than if you just do it once and then try to come back to it the next day, because you'll tend to have to relearn a lot of what you've forgotten. Once you made it through level 3, you should be playing what you learned up to tempo. These were all learning phases. Now you can move on to real practice. Real practice is where you play a lick, a phrase, a song, whatever it may be that you were working on, and you make it musical. So make sure you distinguish learning from practicing. When I'm learning a brand new phrase and getting the order of the notes down that I've never played before, that's not really practice. I'm just learning orders of notes and how I'm going to pick them and execute them. Practicing is where I'm trying to make that musical. So I know it up to tempo, and now I'm trying to make it sound quite musical and fit into a piece nicely. You don't want your rhythm or your licks or phrases to sound like a robot is playing them. So it's crucial that you do all this sort of practice over music and make it musical in that way, not just over a metronome or outside of the context of music. Nobody really cares about a well-executed guitar lick on its own, but they do care about it if it's in the perfect place in a piece of music and elevates that music to another place. Making it musical will make it memorable.